The following is a presentation of Stewed Productions.
And just like that, we're live on a Thursday. Liquid lunch, everybody.
Yippee.
Are we? Is it for real? Are we doing this thing for real?
I think so.
Okay.
Let's see.
Well,
Let me
are we looking?
We're definitely live on
Somewhere. We're live in this room. I know that. And we're recording it for our podcast. So if you're hearing this and we're live, don't forget that if you miss anything, you can always record or listen to the podcast available anywhere finer podcasts are located.
Doing things a little different today.
Are we?
Yeah.
So are we live everywhere or just someplace?
I think we're live everywhere.
Okay. Well, then let's just do this show. Welcome to Thursday, everybody. It's our first post-Labor Day weekend show. We are heading right into the arms of fall. We've almost escaped the summer by the calendar.
We're definitely live.
Okay, great. So because we have almost escaped the fall calendar-wise, temperature-wise, we still got another 4 months, I believe. But it's time to look back, all the way back, Kennedy, to Labor Day weekend and my trip. I went to Hot Springs. It was amazing. But you cannot get to Hot Springs, Arkansas, from Texas. Yeah. I mean, I guess you could, but it's ill-advised to go to Hot Springs and not go to Texarkana, Texas.
Woo.
And the state of Texas is eastmost, and I'm gonna go ahead and say it, most delicious traditional brew pub, food, beer place in all the great state of Texas, in Texarkana, Texas, at Pecan Point. Bill Scurlock is joining us today in front of that historic brick wall right there. Bill, what's up?
Hey, Bill.
Hey, you doing okay?
Yeah, we're doing great. You're looking great there for our live video feed all the way from Texarkana. You cannot go any further east and still be in Texas. But so we've done all the way west, and now we're doing all the way east because Texas is just so big and awesome. We want to do the whole thing. So, Bill, what's going on in Texarkana today?
It's hot.
Oh, well, okay. Some things aren't that different no matter where you are in this state.
That's correct.
All right, well, let's talk about Pecan Point because I've been a couple of times, as everybody knows, because I talk about it probably too much. I'm from Arkansas originally, and so when I go back home, I try to make it a point to stop in Texarkana at Pecan Point and eat some delicious food. And this time I got to try some of your house beers. So that's been up and running for a little bit now. Let's talk about that because this is a beer show. So Bill, Pecan Point, let's talk about the origin first. How did it all get started?
Another home brewer and I met up. He moved back to this area, and we just happened to meet up because of my wife and his mom and a group that was together. We started talking about doing a brewery in Texarkana. There was no brewery at the time, and we wanted to do a hole-in-the-wall brewery downtown in the historic area. And so within about 3 months from when we met, we found this building that we're in, and started working on it.
All right, well, then I'm glad you brought up the building. When my family and I were there sitting in the table, you were telling us all about that building, and I want everybody that's listening to hear the historic, the story behind that building. It's been about a dozen different things, the different sections of your building and everything.
Yep.
The part you're sitting in now, is that you're sitting up in the original part?
We are in the part that was built between 1902 and 1905. There's a dated brick in the wall back in the kitchen that's March of 1902. This building was on the fire insurance map in 1905. So that's the range of when it was built. Originally, this part I'm sitting in was a drugstore first, Central Drugstore, and we're actually in two buildings, and the other building was here. Part of it was here in brick in 1896. So in 1905, that oldest part was a saloon. And it was a saloon until the early 19-teens when both cities, Texarkana, Texas, and Texarkana, Arkansas, enacted local prohibition before national prohibition. So the saloons were all disappearing. There was a saloon, at least one saloon, in every block downtown.
Oh, wow.
But anyhow, now sometimes there were 2 or 3 in a block. But local prohibition came along and wiped out the saloons. So the saloon became the drugstore. The drugstore became a grocery store. And there's been many other businesses in here. The last retail business in the room I'm sitting in was a jewelry store, Eckerd Jewelers, which was here for about probably 25 years.
Oh, that's cool. It's one of those things where, you know, with the way the breweries have popped up around the state, you see a lot of them in, you know, warehouse areas, brand new metal buildings and things like that. And that's cool because people are just trying to get off the ground and get running and making beer and stuff. But when you have places like yours that have so much history, you sit in your the dining area, and you can feel it. You just the look of it. Kennedy, you can feel the history. There may be ghosts sitting next to you while you're having a beer.
Are you calling me old?
No. I'm not saying people you knew. Did you know anybody in Texarkana in the late 1800s to early 1900s, pre-Prohibition? What was that like?
I did not know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay, just kidding. But you know, you sit there and you feel the history, and it's cool. You know, it's like I don't know, like when you're going places. This is my pro tip to anybody traveling around Texas, and if you've tried it, then you know what I'm talking about. But if you're ever driving somewhere in Texas from somewhere else, which if you're in Texas driving, that's what you do, right? But map out like just those little towns and the little places and not like off the highways and the freeways and stuff, just to go check out like the downtown areas and things like that. There's some cool stuff in Texarkana right up there with, I don't know, think about saloons and, who knows what went on. Like maybe there were shootouts in the streets and stuff back then. I don't know if that's cool, but it's a cool thing to think about. But anyway, so now full-fledged brew pub, full-on brewery, restaurant, and Kennedy, Bill, I want to gush on your food for a bit. It's so good. Some of the best food I've ever had, period. I had the Reuben sandwiches last time, Kennedy. Do you like Reuben sandwiches?
I like Reuben sandwiches.
Okay. I love Reuben sandwiches. My wife had the duck and grits, which I had the last time I was there. Okay, Bill, tell me about the duck. So it's got the blueberry compote and the...
Did you say duck and grits?
Duck and grits, yeah.
Oh, man, that sounds fantastic.
Yeah, it's...
Oh, yeah, the duck is... the duck breast is sous vide, which it's a method of cooking, and it keeps the breast moist and tender. So it doesn't taste like a wild duck. It tastes really good. But then the grits come with a blueberry compote on them, which seems like an odd combination when you read it on the menu. But the whole plate is really remarkable, and then topped off with the Southern-style greens.
Yeah.
And anyway, it's really a remarkable plate. One thing about it, there was a guy in actually 2 days ago, and I recommended the duck and grits. He says, I don't like grits. Can I substitute, what do you substitute? Pub fries, I think. And I said, yeah, we can substitute whatever you want because everything is made fresh here. And but when I brought him the plate, I also brought him a little sample of the grits with the blueberry compote on it, and he loved them.
Yeah.
So
he
just hadn't had our grits.
Seriously, grits are they're very much a Southern thing, and some people, it's either love them or don't know what they are. But grits are great because they're such a good medium to add other stuff. And you've got what's the cream sauce on the duck? It's sage beurre blanc, sage butter sauce. It is, Kennedy. It is so rich and decadent and just it's like I would say you want to take a nap when you're done, but you feel like you're already in a dream when you eat because it's just like one of those things like hits your palate and it's like oh, and then the blueberry flavor, or the sweetness of the blueberries, and then the oh, dude, it is it's so good. I want to drive up to this. Like Texarkana is like 5 hours from here, 5.5, right? I think from where we're sitting, it'd totally be worth going right now and having dinner there.
I do have a question for you, Bill.
Yes.
It's a very important question.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Is this where I do my thing?
Yeah,
Oh.
this is kind of where you do.
Okay, cool.
So the question
You gotta look at your watch first to see what time it is.
Yeah.
It's time for your favorite segment and mine here on Liquid Lunch. This is
What you drinking?
And it is a beer show. So, Bill, I don't know, did you put anything in your glass today to wet your whistle while we conversed?
I hate to say it, but yes, water. Yes.
Oh, some of the finest water you'll find in the entire Lone Star State.
That's okay. Maybe you can tell me about or tell us about one of your favorite beers or two you guys serve there.
Oh, you know what? Since we were talking about the duck and grits, what would you pair with the duck and grits?
Yeah.
And we'll start there.
Well, the Pecan Point Ale is an excellent pairing. Or Pecan Point Ale is a traditional brown ale, but then I add toasted pecans to the as a dry hop in the fermenter. So that's really gives it a unique flavor. Another good pairing, well, to me, the best pairings with the duck and grits are going to be the darker beers, the maltier beers.
Yeah.
And so we have a Grimm Porter, named for the Hotel Grimm, right here in downtown, and also Bell's Dairy Milk Stout, which is named for a family dairy from the early 1900s here in Texarkana.
Okay. Yeah, that we got a growler to go of the pecan ale. My wife is a big hophead. I'm all over the map. Just depends on what the time of day and time of year and all that kind of stuff. So we got the full flight of all the house beers, but that pecan ale, Kennedy, it was good. It was the one where we met, like my wife and I's palates, just kind of.
I bet it's hard to find a good. You said that was a brown ale, right?
Yeah,
That's correct.
Yeah, brown. It's hard to find a good brown ale out there. Not too many people like to make those for some reason.
Well,
But I personally love them. And
Yeah.
then I don't think I've ever had a pecan brown ale before.
No,
My mouth is kind of watering right now.
It was so good. It was, with what we were eating, it paired really, really well. It was good. It was good later that night too when we cracked open that growler. So you can get your growlers to go 64 or 32 ounce there at Pecan Point. So take the magic with you. We did get the full pint, or the full flight, and I think the porter. Always, it's an easy one, Bill. When you're talking about a Reuben sandwich and a porter, there are a few things in life that go together as good as a porter and a Reuben sandwich. Like I'm just talking about it kind of makes me want to have another one. It was really good. Your Reuben sandwich. Tell us about the Reuben sandwich again, or tell me about it again. Tell everybody else the first time, and go slow because it's one of my favorite things.
Yeah, well, we cure the beef for the Reuben right here in house. So, like I say, most everything we make here is it's made here. We get the ingredients in, but then we do our magic on them. And the corned beef is corned right here in house. The purple cabbage is what am I trying to say?
Pickled? Is y'all?
Yeah, it's pickled right here in the house.
Do y'all do how do y'all pick? Do y'all do like a quick pickle or slow? I mean, how's that process work? Because it was.
Yeah, the cabbage is a quick pickle. It's actually about 4 or 5 days.
It was that again. Okay, sorry. I love food, and I love great food, and this was the tartness of the cabbage and the richness of the meat, and then the bread, the rye bread, and then, it was so good. It's one of those things where you take a bite and you just kind of have to pause and let it sit there and kind of soak into your soul. It's just so recipes and things like that. Where did all of the recipes come from? Who is doing the cooking? Where did it all come from?
Well, our chef for the past nearly year and a half is Samantha Tompkins.
Okay.
Samantha had worked here before she became the chef. She had been here a year and a half for 2 years, so she's been here quite a while. We've been in business for 5 years this October.
Awesome.
So Samantha has been here at least 3 years. And but as far as the overall menu goes, we have had a number of chefs and food people who have had an input from way back in the middle of 2014, before we ever opened. We had some consultations with a chef and food deli owner. They made some recommendations. Then we've had 3 different chefs since we opened 5 years ago. And all of them have had a hand in our menu and what's on there. Some of the things like the duck and grits has been on the menu since we opened. Other things get changed out. We do weekly, actually bi-weekly specials. Gives our chef a chance to have fun, to try something different, try some different recipes, and we'll have usually 3 or 4 specials every 2 weeks. And if they're really popular, they may end up on the menu the next time we do a menu change. And some of them that are very popular never go on the main menu, but we bring back as specials 2 or 3 times a year. So, part of it depends on, just the kitchen space and what's required to produce a certain plate.
Yeah.
And so sometimes it's not practical to add something that takes a lot of hands-on to the regular menu. But we can do it every now and then as a special.
Okay. We've had some questions from our viewers on Facebook, and no surprise that Jeffrey is trying to get a little bit nerdy on the beer side. How big is your brew system currently?
1 barrel.
1 barrel. How often do y'all brew?
We have 2 1-barrel fermenters and 1 2-barrel fermenters. So on the 2-barrel brew day, we brew twice in our 1-barrel mash tun and kettle. So basically, each fermenter is tied up for roughly 3 weeks to a month. So you can kind of do the math. I haven't done the math.
So one could do math if one were so inclined.
Exactly.
We very rarely do math on this show.
Yeah, we drink a lot of beer.
Yeah.
Therefore, we don't do a lot of math.
We may count how many beers
No, I
have been.
understand. I'm more of a history and words guy than I am a math guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Leave the math to the people that do the math.
Yeah.
I don't want to. Yeah. I'm going to stay in our lane, Bill. That's what we're going to do. Stay in our lane. Kennedy just cracked open a new beer. Okay. So we didn't even talk about what we're drinking. So I'm currently drinking a St. Arnold Art Car IPA. This is a nod to St. Arnold and all the breweries that just this past, what was it, Sunday? On Sunday at 10 a.m., historically, Bill, the law changed, and now breweries can do beer to go. And Texas became the final state in the United States to allow beer to go from a brewery. So we are now in the 21st century of beer law, sort of, at least in that regard. So, Kenny, did you go buy beer to go from anywhere?
I did not.
Me neither. I was out of town. But
yeah,
the option's still there. It's not going anywhere.
I had to work, so here's our art car.
Yeah. So you can now go to St. Arnold, Texas.
I finished my art car.
Oldest brewery, or any other brewery all around the great state of Texas, and buy some beer to go. But that, Hunter,
I'm
right?
drinking some Arkansas beer now.
Yeah, Lost 40 Brewing in they're in Little Rock, right? They're in Little Rock.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yep. And okay,
Yeah.
So, this will be a good segue. Bill, because you are literally a hop, skip, and a jump. And I'm talking about it doesn't even like a literal like Kennedy for you.
Hop. I see what you did there.
You could you could drink one, maybe a freshly hopped beer.
Yeah.
Bill, we'll get into that in just a second. And then skip out the door and then jump across the state line into the natural state. So you're in an interesting spot there because in Texarkana, you're kind of in that, what do they call it, the Arklatex area.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
and you're not that far from Oklahoma, really, kind of, sort of. I don't know. I mean,
That's correct.
Yeah, so you get beers from a lot of different places, and it's interesting to see, since in Houston we're so like immersed like down here. We're not that far from Louisiana, but that's like what 3 hours, 2.5, 3 hours to Lake Charles.
Yeah.
It's
about 3 hours.
But you got to get through all that Texas in between.
Like 2 hours if you drive fast.
Yeah, well, yeah, if you have,
No traffic.
if you have a Trans Am and a truck or whatever. But anyway, it's we're really immersed. We're in like our out of city beers are really just Austin and San Antonio beers that may get here. But you're there, so you get beers from Louisiana, you get beers from Arkansas, Oklahoma, and what are some of the breweries? Like you do have some guest taps. I would say everybody go in and start with their house beers because y'all got what? I think we did 8 from the flight.
Yeah.
So you've got 8 house beers.
Today we have 7.
Oh yeah,
we're out of one of them.
Oh, we drank it all. Sorry, that's me. I feel part. Which one is gone? The fresh hop.
The Iron Mountain IPA is temporarily out.
Okay. So you have a 1-barrel system. So I guess, do you do many like one-offs and experimental type brews, or do you try to stick with, your core, or how do you balance that?
Well, it's a difficult balance with a small system and 3 fermenters. But we try to keep a core on. Of course, the Pecan Point Ale, Iron Mountain IPA is normally one we try not to run out of, but sometimes we do. And part of the reason is that we occasionally do a one-off beer, seasonal type beer or something. An opportunity comes up, and one of those was this summer because there's a local farmer that planted some hops 4 years ago, put some rhizomes in the ground, and he was actually considering the commercial feasibility of it, but he has told me that's not going to work. Mm-hmm. But he'll keep growing the hops that he has, and hopefully we'll be able to brew with them. That's what this year, the farmer's son and I picked some hops one day at the farm, and the next day we brewed a batch of fresh hop ale. And that's pretty unusual for us to be able to do because there's not many fresh hops grown around here.
Right.
So, we picked a batch enough for our 1-barrel batch. And I invited this farmer's son is also a home brewer. So I invited him to come in and brew with us. And we had fun. He's, I don't let just everybody come in and brew with me. But, who wants to spend all day with some people? But Micah is his name. He's a great guy. And he's welcome to come back again and brew some more. Anyway, so we have Ramage Farms is the farm that grew the hops, that grows the hops. And Micah Ramage came in and brewed. But we call the brew Ramage Hop Harvest. And we are we actually got to brew 2 batches of that this summer. But the crop, the second batch was the last picking on this year's crop. And so that's going to be it. When we just started, we just tapped our second batch. So anyway, it's interesting. It's changed. Nice hoppy aroma. It's not real bitter because we didn't boil the green hops for a long time. Relatively short period of time in the boiler for the hops because we didn't want to get too much of a grassy taste in the beer from the fresh hop. And so we think we hit it pretty well. It's good beer.
Yeah. What variety of hops were they that you went into it?
Mostly, it's kind of a mixture because it's not a big. They planted. We could, between them, I bought some of the rhizomes and gave to them, and then they bought some rhizomes. And between the two of us, I think they probably had 15 varieties in the ground. Some of them they have gotten rid of over the last 4 years because they didn't produce well. So there's not that many hop varieties that grow well in northeast Texas, in heat, humidity, and all that. So, but what we have in the fresh hop ale is Columbus, Chinook, and Cascade. I believe those were the three that grow the best, and those were our first picking. Now, in our second picking, we had some nugget added in there, and I'm not sure what else, but there's really only about 4 or 5 varieties that produce much at all in northeast Texas. Well, at this farm, so.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a mixture, and it's going to be different every year probably as far as, you know, how much of one and how much of the other. We didn't even try to keep them separate. We just threw them all in the, you know, whatever was ready to pick, we threw in the buckets, and that's what we brewed with.
Yeah, that's fun. You talk about your building, and that's like you know, history set literally in stone, old, like 100 years, that sort of thing, 110 years. But then now you got a beer that's a little bit of history too, because it's a one-time thing, but it's like, I don't know, it kind of encapsulates that season and everything. And I don't know, that's good stuff. That's good stuff. Matt mentioned that he's going to be heading that way in October. Did you see that?
I did see that.
So
on his honeymoon.
yeah, he's going to his honeymoon in Hot Springs, which is where I went for Labor Day. We'll get into that in a second. But yes, Pecan Point, you must. Absolutely, it's a must. If you're in there, you've got to. You've got to. You're doing yourself a disservice.
Well, I've never been to Texarkana.
Yeah.
Now I want to go.
Yeah. I mean, listen, Texarkana is an interesting place. High school football, right, Bill? They have is it Arkansas High School and Texas High School in either side of Texarkana? That's the Texarkana. Either side? That's
Yeah,
the name. They have a big game every year and everything.
Yep, it's coming right up. I'm not sure actually if it's this week or the next week, but yeah, this rivalry is over 100 years old now. The two main high schools in this city, one in Arkansas, one in Texas. So yeah, it's quite a rivalry.
Yeah, it's a cool deal. Like, because they, I think they highlighted it. Where did I see it? I think Fox Sports Southwest did a few years ago. They highlighted that one, and it's one. You know, Texas high school football this time of year, it gets pretty epic on Friday nights. It's I don't know. It's pretty cool. I didn't grow up in that environment to see it all my life, but now watching it from somebody who grew up somewhere else, it's a pretty cool deal. So, and it just kind of, I don't know, with local breweries and everything like that, it's tie that all in. Kennedy, you going to any high school football this year?
No.
Kennedy, you're not a sports fan, right? Is this where you talk about you not being a sports fan?
This is where you talk about me not being a sports fan.
Right. Check.
Yeah.
Check.
No, I have no football this year.
Okay.
There's no football last year either.
Maybe next year.
Maybe next year.
Maybe when it cools down a little bit.
Yeah, I wouldn't hold my breath or anything.
I won't.
But
Okay.
I wouldn't bet on it.
You shouldn't. If you don't know anything about it, you shouldn't bet on it. But anyway, I'm not opposed to wagering anyway. So okay, let's talk about you were mentioning that in October, your 5th anniversary. Any of the plans known yet, other than it's coming up, or is it you're still
we're still working on exactly what plans, what it's going to be. So I really shouldn't say anything because it might be totally different.
Okay. Well, looking back at the last 5 years, when you came up with the idea, is like, all right, we're going to open this place in Texarkana, and the first brewery in Texarkana. one, what was the reception? Two, and two, since then, in 5 years, how is the community and the two cities of Texarkana? It's actually two cities, right? So how is that?
Yeah.
How is the reception? How have the locals? How's the reaction been?
It's been. Generally it's been good. I mean, we've been here 5 years, so it's not. It's been a good reception, but we knew going into it, we're going to have to educate people about craft beer, because craft beer is not a thing in Texarkana for very many people.
Yeah.
So we did when we first opened. We had a couple of commercial beers, light beers that were not on the menu, but they were available. Mm-hmm. So if people asked for it, that's what they got. About 2 years into our history, we stopped carrying any commercial, big name beers. Everything we sell is craft beer. So people come in and they ask for a light beer, and we say, well, we don't have that beer. And we'll take them a taste. We'll take them a taste of our lighter craft beer. And generally, they will drink at least one of them. And sometimes they'll find out that they actually like craft beer. It has flavor. So yeah. It's been interesting. But, on top of that, we have possibly the most unique food menu in Texarkana.
Yeah.
So we've also been educating people about food. So it's been interesting.
Yeah, it's that area, right? After we left from eating, we kind of drove around downtown a little bit, and there's some cool areas and things to check out, the train depot and all that kind of stuff. It's you got to get off the freeway if you're on 59 or coming through or 30, or you got to get off and you got to go down there and check it all out. And you're right there next to in the Ross Perot Theater, right there next to you guys.
Yes, the Perot Theater next door, and it was built in 1925. Mm-hmm. It was built as a live performance theater, the Sanger Theater Company. But then within a couple of years, they sold it to Paramount. And when I was growing up, it was a motion picture theater. And then when most of the retail, most of the business left downtown Texarkana, the theater eventually closed. And the city eventually ended up with the theater in the 80s, or it may have been the late 70s, and they applied for a grant from the Ross Perot Foundation. And the foundation approved the grant to refurbish the theater to 1925, period. And it's beautiful. And they are open for tours every day, every weekday, till 5 o'clock. And it's very informal. You should go up there and say, hey, I'd like to look at the theater. And they love having people come by. And they'll give you a little tour or a big tour, depending on what their time format is. But anyway, it's and a lot of people don't realize that Ross Perot grew up in Texarkana, and that's part of how some of his money from the foundations and stuff has ended up in Texarkana, because he grew up here.
Okay, I didn't realize that until. We saw the theater, and then we started doing a little Wikipedia historical digging.
He's been a big supporter of Texas A&M Texarkana, mm-hmm. Ross Perot and his foundation and all that. So he's been good to Texarkana.
Good. That's, man. Yeah, I can't say it enough. People watching, because we get viewers from Austin and San Antonio and Dallas and Midland. Oh, yeah, by the way, did we even ask today, Kennedy?
I don't think we asked.
Oh, currently, we like to do this thing, Bill, where because Midland is way out there in the middle of everything, and it has a temperature range of anywhere from -20 to surface of the sun.
Yeah.
We like to see what the current temperature is in Midland, Texas. So any guesses, Bill, what do you think the temperature currently is in Midland, Texas?
96.
All right, Kennedy, what are you saying?
It's not at the peak yet. We're in September now. I'm going to say we're about 92.
Well, I can't guess because I pulled it up too quickly on my phone.
Yeah.
But we're all going to be shocked. They've had an Arctic blast.
Oh, is it in the 80s?
It's 88 currently in Midland, Texas.
Oh, wow.
With
Must
a
have a cold front blow through.
Yes. Oh, it looks like they have because they've had the highs this week only get up to 96 on Saturday. Last week they were in the 107s.
Yeah.
So current temperature in Midland, Texas, 88 degrees. Feels like 89. So I don't know. People are probably putting on their sweaters right now.
Yeah, they're probably beside themselves.
Yeah, our friends out at Eccentric Brewing in Midland.
Yes.
But hearts go out to Midland, Odessa. Love you guys. Hang in there.
Yep.
But all that. But anyway, so that's the temperature. 88 degrees now in Midland, Texas.
Brought to you by
Eccentric Brewing.
I can't say that word.
Bill, do you know the temperature in downtown Texarkana currently? Put you on the
No,
spot.
but I'm guessing 88.
Okay, let's find out. I've got the app. Texarkana, Texas.
What are we?
Yeah.
No,
actually,
we do beer and temperature, beer and weather now.
Yeah, we're gonna be the beer and temperature line. Call and say the temperature is 95. 95.
It is 95
95 in Texarkana.
Oh,
the cold
man.
front hasn't reached there yet, but it's fine. It only feels like 100.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah, but if you're driving around Texarkana right now, or anywhere in that area, stop into Pecan Point, cool down, have some lunch.
Yeah, if your tires haven't melted.
Yeah, get out of the car before you burst into flames and get into the historic Pecan Point Brewing Company and eat some lunch and have good conversation. Maybe at the bar. You'll have a beautiful bar, Bill.
Thank you.
Where'd that come from? Is it?
My son designed. Well, he designed the bar, but he designed the whole interior. And my nephew built the bar.
Oh, wow.
And so my nephew and I built the furniture in our dining room based on my son's designs. So anyway, it's been a real family effort to build this restaurant.
Yeah.
And
It's super inviting. You walk in and it's one of those things where you know the moment you walk in, you're like, this is different. This is not a place I've been. So
We're seeing a lot of that. I don't know if it's a recent trend or what, but we are seeing a lot of the family breweries. Got a few of those in Houston, and it's nice to see families coming together, building a brewery. Yeah,
it's good. Warm fuzzies. All right. Well, okay. Well, we've talked about anything else we need to talk about, Bill? We've talked about the anniversary party coming up next month. Anything on the menu? Like, is there lunch specials or anything in case somebody's driving through right now? Is there?
well, we have 3 scallop specials on our special menu this week.
Yeah.
Scallop scampi is sort of an appetizer. Let's see, scallop. There's a scallop entree, and there's another. Oh, scallop tacos. Yeah.
Wow.
Scallop taco, fried. They're lightly battered fried scallops, bay scallops on a taco. Really nice. House-made slaw that's on there. So yeah, really good.
Yeah, you had me at scallops.
Yeah, I was gonna say the. Bill, do you ever get down to the Houston area? Because if you do, I want to take you to Thistle Draft Shop. I want to have you and Mary just talk. There's a place here in actually Spring, north of Houston, but Mary Thorne, y'all are kindred like approach. It's I would just like to just sit there and listen to y'all talk shop.
Good beer, good food.
Good beer, good food, good
Okay.
people.
I rarely get down to Houston, but maybe I should make a special trip.
Hey, if you do,
Just make sure you bring some beer.
Yeah.
Okay.
You just met him today, Kennedy.
And
I'm just saying
Okay.
that bold move. Okay, he said fine. It's fine. It's fine.
If I'm making a special trip down there to see y'all, I'll bring beer.
oh, you're the best.
All right. Well,
Hey, if I was making a trip up there, I'd bring beer.
All right.
oh, yeah. Do you have a favorite? Like, is there like a brewery here in Texas or down in the Houston area specifically that you hear about, but it doesn't distribute necessarily all the way up to Texarkana or something like? I should have asked before I went. That was so rude of me. Can't wait to put me on the spot. Like that.
I'm glad I put you on blast there. You should have brought beer.
We'll be coming back again for during Christmas. But are there any beers that don't get distributed up there that maybe we have down here that tickle your fancy that you want to?
Well, there's probably a lot of them. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll make.
I don't really. I don't know what breweries are down there really. I mean,
There was 3 new ones that popped up since the show began today.
Yeah, yeah, probably.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, where it's an embarrassment of riches when it comes to being a beer fan this day.
Yeah,
and age.
we'll make sure Josh brings you guys up some good Houston beers next time. Next time he heads up that
I'll
way.
bring a bunch. All right. Well, Bill, keep doing the Lord's work there in Texarkana, Texas, and thank you so much for being on Liquid Lunch. It's been we've been trying to figure it out when we're going to do it, and I'm glad I got to come up and shake your hand and talk with you a little bit and try some beer in front of you. I don't know that we shared a beer, but I drank it all before he could grab any. But
Well, I generally do not drink a beer when I'm here.
yeah, probably.
It's probably for
Bad policy for me to be drinking around it.
Yeah.
it's probably for the best.
Yeah. Leave the shenanigans to the guys that don't have anything to lose. That's us.
Exactly. I'll go home and I'll enjoy my beer. And
There you go. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Bill Scurlock and Pecan Point Brewing in Texarkana, Texas. A little slice of heaven there on the border. The easternmost brewery in all of the great state of Texas.
Yes.
Any further east, and you're in Arkansas. So
Yep.
good stuff. All right, Bill. Thank you so much.
thank you for having me.
All right.
Anytime, Bill.
Yeah. Seriously,
right.
anytime you got something come up, you just let us know.
Okay, I will.
All righty. Pecan Point
All
Brewing,
right.
everybody. Bye.
Cheers.
Cheers. Bye.
Cheers.
All right.
That was cool.
That was great. Let me tell you. That was, it really is like, you try to be nice for a guest, right? But
Generally,
generally speaking,
Yeah.
you want to be genuine and nice and everything like that.
Yeah.
But I can't, if you didn't know the truth in my voice about how much we enjoyed going to Pecan Point. I know I'm gushing a bit. People are like, shut up, Josh. We've heard it. We know.
shut up, Josh.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. So good. It was so
you
good.
did.
It is. It's one of those like that might be my favorite thing when I'm traveling with my family and if we're going back home or we're going for a gymnastics meet or whatever we're doing because of what we do, right?
Well, that's
Those
cool.
little side trips to you want to do the map and find the breweries in the area.
Well, it's cool. You got like a spot you go to every time you go.
Yeah.
You go visit the homeland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Speaking of the homeland.
Yeah. Speaking of the homeland, this Oktoberfest
Yes.
is probably one of the best Oktoberfests I've ever had.
I drank a bunch of them this weekend. Lost 40 out of Little Rock.
Like, if I'm going to be honest,
Yeah.
I mean,
Did you drink both of them already?
No, I drank one of them. Oktoberfests are good, but they're not generally my favorite beers.
What? Okay.
Yeah. But
Well, there's
this
a lot.
one, OMG,
Yeah.
it's really good.
Okay. Question.
Wow.
This is.
this. If we've gotten nothing from Arkansas,
Yeah. Other than me,
we've got Josh.
is that enough?
We've got Josh, and we have got Hunter.
Hunter S. Thompson? Who? What?
Hunter Oktoberfest.
Oh.
Yeah, from Lost 40 Brewing, Hunter
Yeah.
Oktoberfest.
What
So-
did we look this one up? I just grabbed it because
No.
listen, this is how Arkansas this beer is. Went to Walmart.
You got this at Walmart?
beer. Yes.
You're shitting me.
It's
this is at Walmart?
Yeah. That was the only craft beer that
then again, I'm
the only
used to
Arkansas.
Texas laws.
That was the only Arkansas beer that they had.
Yeah.
In that particular Walmart. There were other little liquors okay, so we went to Hot Springs. I saw Matt was planning on doing his honeymoon in Hot Springs.
Mm-hmm.
Matt hit me up. I got some I got some pro tips from somebody that just was there. That's a cool spot, though.
If they have this Hunter Oktoberfest, I highly recommend it.
Okay, let me tell you, Hot Springs, pretty cool spot.
Yeah.
Historic, that's where all the gangsters went.
Yeah.
As their neutral territory.
What?
Yeah, like
from
Chicago and everywhere.
Yeah, from
they
the
wouldn't
30s.
kill each other, but Al Capone,
Yeah.
from his what is the name of the main hotel right there off of the main strip there with all the bathhouses and everything.
Yeah, this was before he got syphilis and fished in his own swimming pool.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
He had an escape hatch
Uh-huh.
down through a tunnel into like an underground bowling alley and all these things down there in Hot Springs. It's a wild place, man. It's like the hot springs. It's like hot water coming out of the ground. They have the things all around town. You can get some and drink it right there, coming straight out of the spring. It's wild.
So they have like water fountains.
Yeah.
With water coming straight.
People would buy a bottle of water, dump out
they
the
can.
water, and then fill it up with the spring water.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Supposedly it has magical powers or something.
Really? Because I think that there's the magical powers. You lose teeth.
Listen, man.
You learn how to play the band. Oh, you learn how to play the banjo. You drink that water. You can get
it all out of your system. Go on. Say something something about being barefoot. Or
that's all I got.
Marrying your sister. Or
Overalls.
overalls.
Yeah.
Or fiddles.
Yeah.
You think fiddles or just banjos?
I think just banjos.
Fiddles is more of a West Virginia kind of thing.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. No.
No, it's a cool.
I don't know many people from West Virginia.
Okay.
So, and I really didn't even associate West Virginia with being hillbilly until I saw the
Wonderful Wild Whites.
The Wonderful Whites of West
Whites,
Virginia.
sure,
Yeah.
Yeah, with
It wasn't until then I was like,
Hank
oh.
the Third is a good friend of theirs.
Yeah, it wasn't until he has a song about those guys too.
Yeah, that's a crazy documentary. Yes, everybody check that one out. But no, Hot Springs. We went to Superior Bathhouse Brewery there on the main drag, and that was cool. I only got to have the one beer there, which because of we had a sick kid and a big group of people.
Of course,
yada, yada,
of course, Jeff got really nerdy. I just saw your comments, Jeff. I was like in deep with this. He's asking if it's a
traditional
Fest beer or Marzen lager.
Well, let me see that. I think it's an actual lager.
It's an actual lager.
I think it's a Fest beer. It could, because Märtzens are
Märtzens
a little on the maltier side. I believe that's more. It's a little got more of a little hop.
Yeah, it is. I would say it's a little hoppier than your traditional one, but man, it goes down so good.
Lost 40. That is out of Little Rock. That's a great one. I had some Ozark. I had their pale ale with my pizza there in Hot Springs. Ozark is up in Rogers, I believe, which is northwest. And then Superior Bathhouse Brewery is in one of the old school bathhouses. So those bathhouses, like, you want to talk about a little creepy, but a lot of history.
Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Bathhouses are a little creepy.
Well, okay, so here's one.
I would say they're a lot creepy.
It could be, but the history is cool. You learn a lot from the history, but the smell, it still smells like 1910. So, but the thing that they have, like, when you look at that history and even the sidewalks and the roads and stuff in front of it, when they decided they were going to build those places, they were like, we're building this just to compete with all these great places over at resorts and things like that in Europe. Yeah. And so everything's made of stone and it's heavy, and even the tubs that you would sit in probably weigh 600 pounds.
What about the communal bathtub?
They didn't have a communal bathtub. Everything was separated, men's and women's and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah, but still,
everybody had their own compartment.
You're taking a bath with a bunch of other dudes.
Not a bath. There was a steam room.
Uh-huh.
You weren't in the water with other dudes. There was a steam room and a sun deck where the sausage party would happen. But
yeah, okay.
That was basically, I was telling my daughters, I was reading, it's like, yep, that's out there. That's where the naked guys would sit and just have a sausage party.
Yeah.
So that was it. They're like, why would they eat sausage? I was like, nah, it's totally, never mind. Let's keep moving. Yeah. But anyway, but Superior Bathhouse Brewery, that was a cool place.
Apparently they use water from hot springs.
At Superior Bathhouse?
Yeah.
Yes, they do for their beer and for their root beer. It's the only beers made with natural hot spring water.
Danny just jumped on.
Hey, Danny.
Danny.
What's happening?
Have you ever had an Arkansas beer, Danny?
I'm sure he has. He's a well-traveled man.
Because let me tell you, Hunter. Wait, let me take my camera.
Oh, do that.
Yeah.
Kennedy cam.
Let me take Kennedy cam.
Kennedy cam.
Hunter.
Let me see the other cam.
Oktoberfest. The empty or the full?
Yeah, I can see the empty. I need to look at
Okay.
it.
The Hunter Oktoberfest, Danny. It's a pretty good Oktoberfest.
Yeah, no, it's good. No, it's a fest beer. Who was asking? Was that Jeff?
Yeah, he said he has.
Yeah.
Well, since we're still doing.
Hold on. Let's not do the IPA yet.
Okay.
That's the same brewery.
Yeah.
I had quite a few of those too. Grab the Scarlet Letter.
Oh, yes.
I want you to try this.
Yes.
So, all right. So we know that the sparkling seltzer or whatever, the hard seltzer, has been all the craze, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's going nuts.
I saw a meme that had a baby holding a
White Claw.
a White Claw, and it said, "Old enough to crawl, old enough to claw."
All right, hold on. Let me see that one real quick before you. So this is not technically not a hard seltzer, although it does have sparkling water in it. 4.3% alcohol, only 0.8 carbs, and 84 calories from Core Brewing. But get this, and distilling. We had to buy this at the liquor store. They're in Springdale. They also have tap rooms in Fort Smith, and they had one in Hot Springs, which I didn't get to go to. But and I wanted to, but it was Sunday or something. You can't buy packaged beer on Sunday. I don't know what the laws are in Arkansas anymore. I forget. But anyway, this is not a hard seltzer, because hard seltzer is just fermented sugar in the water, right? This is made from their actual vodka with cucumber, lime, ginger, and hibiscus. So it's like a vodka cocktail, not sparkling hard seltzer.
Ain't no law when you got the claw. Thanks, Danny. Danny has a lot of Arkansas ties.
Does he?
Yes, he lived there for 5 years.
Oh.
2 of his kids came from Arkansas.
We're related then, at least once. Let me finish that. You want to pour it, or you just want to drink out of the... I'm going to...
Okay. You going to pour it for me?
Yeah, why not? Because I haven't looked at it. I've only drank it out of the can.
I'm getting the presidential treatment today.
Well, I just wanted to split one. See, look at that. Crystal clear.
Yeah.
Look at that. Yeah?
Once again, we're stressing.
Not a hard seltzer.
Not a...
Look at your face there.
I know. I didn't... We're stressing it. Not a hard seltzer.
It's not a hard seltzer. It's, by definition, a cocktail.
You got to get it closer to the camera.
Huh? Oh.
There you go.
It's a cocktail. Sorry,
Yeah.
the Lone Pine logo is in the way.
Yeah.
Can you smell the cucumber, though? I smell it from here. Seltzer can.
Do you know Hattieville, Arkansas?
Hattiesburg? What?
Hattieville.
Hey, Ty.
What? I don't know.
Who said that?
That's Arkansas language.
I don't know. Is he on Facebook?
Yeah, mom and dad moved out. Jeffrey's parents, I guess, live now in Hattieville. Hattieville?
I don't know. There's a lot of...
Hattieville, Arkansas?
I don't know. Spell it phonetically. Who's that, Jeffrey?
Yeah.
Oh. Anyway, I can smell the cucumber in this thing. So, Core Brewing. Core makes a delicious ESB. Dave Fugeron from One Southern Star. Huge fan of Core Brewing, as am I. But,
Wow.
So, natural, let's see. Cucumber, lime, ginger, hibiscus.
This is tasty.
Refreshing, right?
Yeah. I would not even have guessed there's alcohol in this.
I know. Vodka. Their own distilled vodka.
We're creeping dangerously close.
It's vodka.
We're skirting on the edge.
It's
though.
vodka.
I understand
It's
that.
vodka.
But
It's craft artisan vodka from Core Distilling in Arkansas, Springdale, Arkansas. Now let me ask y'all this:
man, I could just
pound these
all day
yes,
long.
Yes, that's the problem. Is they're so delicious.
You know, I've never had a White Claw yet. I kind of
I think I sipped one.
I
didn't like it. It was
No.
too.
You know,
Tastes like diet soda kind of thing.
yeah, but I drank a lot of White Claws the first time they came around when they were called Zimas.
Oh yeah. Did you really? The worst hangover I ever had was from Zima. I think I've told that story before, right? Worst hangover I've ever had.
From Zimas?
Yes.
How many Zimas did you drink?
I think we had 6 each. Me and my roommate.
Hold
son.
on. You had a hangover off of 6 Zimas?
We had a 6-pack of Zimas and a 12-pack of Crystal Burgers. And then the next morning, I thought I was going to die.
I don't think that was from the Zima.
Whatever. It was involved. Zima was involved. It had a lot of sugar in it, right?
I think you're just plain sick. You know what
Maybe.
I used to
blame it
call
on
a
Zima.
six-pack of Zima?
What?
I'd call that Thursday night.
You had very lame Thursday nights. That is sad.
That's bad. That's a long
Zima's
time
though.
ago. It's not.
How about
It was the 90s.
My buddy Ben. We always got a 6-pack of Zima for Ben, who's in Bentonville, Arkansas now.
Jeffrey, you're a fan of the White Claw? He said they're way better than Zimas.
I don't know. I tried one White Claw, like a sip,
Mm-hmm.
and we threw out. It was a 12-pack, I think. We threw out 11 of them.
No, it's somebody told me that there was a month like June or May or something. Nationally, White Claws sold more than craft beer. There are more White Claw sales than craft beer sales in the entire United States.
That doesn't.
I mean,
Okay, hold on. From
Jeffrey,
from the can.
are you going to be making some hard seltzers, or you just haven't admitted
I gotta look
it.
this up real quick.
You haven't admitted to us yet that you're brewing hard seltzers. I know what's going on over there. I haven't had one of your beers in months. It's because you're brewing hard seltzers.
All right, hold on. Maybe it is a hard seltzer.
Uh-oh.
Maybe I lied.
Oh no. And I'm enjoying it too. No.
Hold on. Okay, it says it's a spirit-based,
Yeah.
4.3% soda water flavored with da-da-da-da-da.
So
Spirit-based. But now we're going to have to...
Jeffrey, I'm not gonna lie. When you brew one of these hard seltzers, I'm gonna want some.
We're going to have to... It says vodka. How can they put vodka on the label?
Mm-hmm.
But then when you look at the ingredients, maybe you
don't
can make
think
vodka from anything, right?
I don't think you can vodka.
Yeah, you can't. Like we got it at the liquor store,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So that's how you get around it.
suppose.
But it says vodka with natural. So my question is on the definition of vodka.
Mm-hmm.
So vodka is just it's a neutral spirit,
Yeah.
and you can get the sugar from pretty much anything, right?
Yeah,
You can get
yeah.
it from grain, you can get it from potatoes, you can get
Yeah.
it from sugar,
Yeah.
right? It says from cane sugar. So did they make their but that's
From cane sugar?
yeah, but that's how you do how you do the hard seltzer is that you just do the water and the sugar in your
We
ferment.
just drank a hard seltzer.
But it says vodka.
They lied. It's from Arkansas.
I don't know, man. They make a really good ESB. So now I've got to say that I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and say that
Jeffrey.
it's vodka.
Jeffrey has the answer for us.
What does he
Of
have?
course.
Does he?
Yeah. Hard seltzers can be either fermented from sugar, water, or a diluted vodka, then carbonated.
That's a cocktail. That's not a hard seltzer. That's my own definition. And I have
You know,
I have
I'm
a
not-
beer server certification from Cicerone, which I got online for $40. So
Ooh.
I've got the pen.
Aren't
Listen,
you-
it makes
aren't-
my it
aren't
makes
you, aren't you special?
it makes my opinion mean something.
Yeah, I'm sure it does.
Okay? So listen, this is a cocktail
Yeah.
and it's fine.
I'm not really that upset that I drank it. If I'm going to be completely honest, it was pretty good.
Wait a, all right. I'm not that it was really good.
Like you could potentially, not that I would ever do this, take that to work,
You could?
put it in your water, in your beverage container.
No we'd ever know. Hey,
no
dude's
one
drinking a
would
Topo
ever
Chico.
know.
Yeah.
Ever know.
You could put it in a Topo Chico bottle and recap
Yes.
it.
You could sip on that all night long or day long, depending on what kind of job you have.
Yeah.
No one would ever know
Yeah. Well,
until you got drunk.
right. But it would take a lot. 4.3, it would take like 7 of them.
Yeah, but I
Eight.
mean, you could spill it on the in.
Just smells refreshingly
Yeah.
like cucumber.
Yeah.
So, anyway. Okay, my question to the viewers, watchers, listeners.
Yeah.
Anybody listening? There's
Yeah.
some people listening on the Mixer feed.
Mhm.
If we were to interview people out of the state, would anybody be offended by that? Would we need to add an extra day where we do around the country kind of
I
stuff?
mean, we almost just interviewed someone from out of the state.
Oh, no. We've done the eastmost and the westmost now,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. We had David from from El Paso. Sun Brewing, right? Sun Brewing. That was a while back. It's been a while. I wonder what he's up to. Anyway, cool dude.
Natty Light seltzers are like 6% alcohol.
Oh, yeah. See, they do it wrong. They're missing the point. Anyway.
Are they?
I think so.
I think if I'm going to start drinking seltzers,
Uh-huh.
I want to get a buzz pretty quickly.
Okay.
Since you're not tasting alcohol anyway.
I don't know. It depends. I don't know. I could hear both arguments. I'm ready to hear both arguments. Or any of the arguments.
Oh.
Anyway, I was going to make the point that we've done eastmost, westmost.
Yeah.
We've attempted northmost and south. I don't know how we attempted.
We tried. I don't know.
What is the northmost now? Is it still?
I don't know. I mean, there's
new stuff popping.
There's at least 3 breweries now in Amarillo.
Hold on, I'm going to get to the actual.
I don't know what the northmost would be, and southmost.
Padre Island.
Yeah, there's Padre Island.
Padre Island Brewing, and that's barely further south. They're in Padre. They're very close to Brownsville, though. But then there's also one outside of Harlingen.
Yeah,
the Blue Onion.
Yeah, Rebel Rouser too.
5x5.
There's one. I know there's one.
Big River.
There's one in Far.
Rebel Rouser.
Yeah,
those are all further north. Down.
You know, we haven't ever.
Padre Island.
We haven't talked to any of the South Texas.
I know.
South Texas. Before.
What's the furthest south we've been? As far as like on this show, probably. Well, Gully had no longer. What's the furthest south? I don't know.
I don't know.
Retail? Scott?
It's
when Scott was on.
I don't think San Antonio's further south.
I'm saying that's as far south as we've gone. See, he's pretty far south.
Oh yeah.
In San Antonio.
Yeah.
I mean, who else? We haven't on this show. We haven't had Backfish or anybody in Galveston.
Yeah, but that's still further south. I think San Antonio's still further south.
You're right. Okay, so right now.
Wow, we need to get over our box here.
Yeah, Scott. When he was with Freetail, that was that's the furthest south. So the furthest north brewery currently on this map, anyway, technically speaking, just south of Amarillo would be 6 Car Pub and Brewery. 6 Car.
That's further south than Long Wooden Spoon.
No, it's further north.
Oh, yes. Sorry, further north.
Yes, it's actually Long Wooden Spoon is the furthest south brewery in the Amarillo area.
Okay. But we've had their beer on our show.
Pondaceta, Big Texan Steak Ranch. Do they brew? I've driven by that place. It's right there, kind of in that.
Yeah, it's right off Route 66.
Yeah, it's in that nook right there.
Yeah,
kind of.
And if anybody wants to go and look at our old Instagram post, I took a picture.
Yeah, what do they have? The big steak there that it's like a
the
Great Outdoors type.
Yeah,
thing?
they have the steak challenge. It's been on TV shows before, but you got to eat like a 72-ounce steak, a baked potato, a shrimp cocktail, and if you can eat all that in like an hour, you can you get it free.
So until they open a brewery in Texoma, which I don't know how many people live in Texoma.
Oh,
which Texoma's right on the border.
Have you had the big Texas beers, Danny? He said shitty beer. I'm assuming when you're talking about the big Texas beers, the big Texan beers.
I don't know.
Yeah,
6 Car Pub and Brewery. That's the furthest north.
Okay.
In Amarillo.
Okay, but I mean, even Amarillo. I need to make a trip to Amarillo. My grandmother lives in Amarillo.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I need to go visit her.
Yeah, you do. Somebody needs to open a brewery in Texoma. Danny, get on it.
Yeah. Visit one brewery per state. Well, we talked to a Florida brewery before.
Yeah, we've done that. Anybody else out of state? I think that's it.
No,
Florida.
No.
Yeah, because of the baseball.
No,
Tampa Bay
I'm
brand.
working on the Berlin brewery.
Well, that was. Oh yeah, right.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, we had. Well, you were out of state. You were in.
But we're like talking to actually like brewers.
We need to add more days to the show, Kennedy, is what we need to do. Who would watch if we were like 4 days a week, Monday through Thursday? Who would do it? Anybody? Anybody?
Danny would watch. Jeffrey would watch.
We would need a little more, we'd need more segments. But we could dedicate a whole day to out of, there's 52 weeks in a year and there's 50 states, right? So
we used to have a bottle cap map of Texas, Jeffrey.
It's around here somewhere.
Yeah, it's still
It's
here
over
some-
here in the floor.
It's still here somewhere.
I had 2. That's the second one I've had.
Uh-huh.
My dog ate the first one.
We didn't really fill it up too much.
No, people don't do bottles as much as they used
Yeah.
to.
Me? What do you mean me?
Who's me?
Jeffrey said me.
Me.
No, I'm reading the comments.
Oh,
No.
I don't know.
John would watch.
Okay.
All right, so we got 3 viewers at least.
Well, all right. Well, let's do it.
All right.
Let's do it. Who? We ready to next week?
You know I can't watch. You know I can't do the show all the time.
What's keeping you from doing it? How many days a week could you do it?
Stupid work.
Theoretically.
Theoretically,
Yeah.
I
2?
can do it 3.
Okay.
Theoretically,
Still, so Thursdays. What would be the other day?
Tuesday.
Tuesday and Thursday. I mean, what if we just added Tuesdays? Let's just
Maybe.
think about it.
Maybe.
Mull it over.
Maybe.
I mean, there's no other show that does twice a week. Let's hash this out for a second.
Well, there's no other show that does once a week live.
That's not true.
Who does?
The Galactic Coast Power Hour,
Oh.
and then I don't know if I'm allowed to say. Have we seen? Has there been a Sylvia sighting?
Oh, well, they're starting.
I know, but she's announced that, right?
Oh.
Huh? Did it have, I mean, it was on her Instagram that there's a thing that she's working on a thing, right? I don't want to blow it up, but have we seen her on the show
All right,
today?
nobody heard that.
Somebody message Sylvia real quick.
Yeah.
Let's find it. You know what? I'll do it.
Yeah.
I've got it right here. I think she's gonna. There's a thing there that's a possibility.
Yeah.
There's the homebrew show up in the Come and Brew It. There's a homebrew store up in somewheres.
But do these people go every week?
I'm not sure that they have recently. They were for a while. But we're the only noon live show.
Yeah.
But there's no other live show. If you're hearing it on the radio,
Yeah.
it's not live.
No.
It's not live.
There's a couple local live shows.
They're not live.
Or sorry, there's a couple local radio shows.
They're good shows, but they're not live. You ever hear call in on those shows?
No.
Nope. They ever take viewer comments and stuff?
No.
They ever just randomly get somebody on?
One of the shows has at one point had like a great guest host.
Oh, 2 great guest hosts.
Yeah. Well, one. I'm not talking about me.
Oh, then yeah, 1 great.
Oh, Come and Brew It is from Fort Worth.
Okay, they have a very brew. Oh, are you drinking the Rockhound?
It's good.
Yeah. There's some good beers in Arkansas.
There is.
There's some guys up there doing some good stuff.
I guess it's that water. It's got to be the water.
I don't know. That's Little Rock, but it all comes from some same place.
Jeffrey, have you watched Come and Brew It live? I need to. We should do like a collaboration with those guys.
Yeah, I've reached out to them and they haven't said much back. I think they're busy during the day. It's like 7 dudes around a table.
Oh,
I don't know.
they do Facebook Live.
They don't have
But
the
do-
graphics like we do.
Do they have production value like we do?
Oh no, who does?
No.
Few and far between. Hold on, I'm still looking for Sylvia. Oh, there she is. Let's see if she's anything on there.
Because I'll tell you what they.
Hang on.
Oh man, never mind.
What?
I was gonna cop the Facebook comments, but I haven't set it up yet.
Oh,
I was gonna brag.
that we do things.
Yeah, weren't you supposed to leave right at 7?
7.
1?
It's 107. Yeah, we should probably wrap it up soon. We should probably wrap it up now. How about that? Okay, so that's the thing.
I don't have to work today.
Well, you want me to just leave you here with the dogs?
No.
Okay.
Because I'll probably let the dogs out the front door,
Yeah, don't.
and then your wife will come home, and you know what she'll say.
Kennedy, you're an asshole for letting
No.
the dogs out. That's what she'll
No,
say.
you know what she'll say.
Who let the dogs out?
Yeah, she'll say, "Who let the dogs out?"
All right. Well, we got 3 more minutes of the show. Yeah. So something to mull over. Tuesdays and Thursdays.
So next week we didn't get to it.
Oh,
So next week we're gonna do Florida beers.
we've done Florida beers. What'd you bring? Something new?
Yeah.
New that's been in your refrigerator?
No. The
When-
lovely Jules. I haven't said hi to Jules.
What's up,
today.
Jules?
Hey, Jules. Hey.
Okay. How's it going?
Sorry I've neglected you, Jules. Hi. Anyway, lovely Jules went
Uh-huh.
to Florida,
Uh huh.
last week and
Yes.
brought me back a bunch of Florida beers.
Oh.
And I brought one here. There's one on the table, but we didn't get to it.
We'll get to it next. This was all we wanted. Lots of Bill time with Bill.
Yeah.
So
So we got
We'll get to it.
sour glass.
From who?
Kind of like hourglass, but it's sour glass.
Yeah, I think people got it. Who's it from?
Sour Glass Brewing.
Oh, cool. Okay.
It's called the Scorpion,
The Scorpion.
and it is a mixed culture farmhouse ale brewed with juniper berries and orange peel.
I'm all about that.
Yeah,
Feel free to leave that in
cool
the-
too,
in the
because
deep freezer.
I kind of mixed it up, but there was like this sediment right here
Oh, you know what we didn't do?
around the bottom, so it's still actively fermenting in the bottle right now.
Well, don't put it in the refrigerator now.
It's been in the refrigerator.
Well, then leave it out and it'll wake back up, hopefully. We didn't say thanks to the Grain Cellar.
Oh, we didn't. No, we didn't.
Got 2 minutes to do so, but your one-stop homebrew shop, not on the beer cam.
What? Oh man, I need to fix that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Beer cam's in black.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are they still hearing us?
Yeah, of course they're here.
The Grain Cellar,
Yeah.
one-stop fermenting shop over there in Humble, Texas, and all the
I need to fix that.
all the red light cameras officially gone, so you can just fly through there and just middle finger in the air as you go through right on red and all that good stuff.
I was at the Grain Cellar on Friday
Awesome.
for our monthly Rogue Brewers meeting.
Awesome. Join a homebrew club and get out there and brew. If you go to the Grain Cellar, free hugs waist up, waist down by saying Liquid Lunch Sippy. And you can get in on it. You can make pickles, like pickled cabbage or pickled cabbage for your Reuben sandwich, like you could get at Pecan Point or whatever. Anything, all that. So Grain Cellar, and you love them. Also, check out liquidlunchshow.com/Amazon if you want to help support the show. No episode of Interbrews this week. Rescheduled for either next week or the week after, but I'll be at the Hat on My Head Backfish with Caleb and Bianca. Yeah. So that's coming soon.
I miss Caleb. How's he doing?
From my messages, it seems like he's doing really well. But we'll go deep.
When's the last time you talked to Caleb?
Message-wise?
At all? Any kind of communication?
Yesterday?
When's
I
the
talked
last
to
time you
Caleb.
talked to him, like, where you actually heard his voice?
It's been a little bit.
Okay.
But that's when I'm rectifying that situation. We'll be down there at Backfish soon. So anyway, Bill Scurlock and Pecan Point Brewing in Texarkana. Run by there if you're in the area, and if not, make a point to get there as soon as you can and try some of that delicious food and
Make a
great beer.
pecan point to get there.
Yeah, make it a Pecan Point. That's a great one. And thanks to Arkansas and the beers and the stuff there, too. So for Kennedy, I'm Josh. See you next time right here on Liquid Lunch.